Oh my, it sure is still very, very humid in Florida in later part of November. Now she has decided to remove the line set that was mounted under the vehicle and mount it through the door frame instead. So we're going to share with you why that happened. Okay, so from this side, it still looks about the same, whether it's mounted through the door or through the underbody. But on this side, it's substantially different. Previously, the stainless steel braided hose was going through the bumper, but it had to stick way out here for flexing. So it was quite dramatic. And that line being curved down and then back up causes more inefficiency, as well as added length of the line. And the sun exposure to the line being under the body, it has to stick out the side here. That sun exposure is going to cause some inefficiencies, maybe only 5%, but that does matter. But now with this cover made a big difference on why I chose to go through the door, because now with the top cover umbrella, you can't see the holes that I drilled. And also I decided to go through the door after discovering I can drill smaller holes than previously thought, because all I had to do was drill a hole big enough to get a 3/8 outer diameter copper line through the transit outer skin. And so here it is. And I picked these two plastic pieces up and I put rubber O-ring on both sides and tighten both ends with plastic nuts. So this is a really good seal here to keep the weather out, I hope. I might put something else around there to further seal it, but right now it's too humid, nothing will stick. So it's a clean install through the door. The holes aren't very big. If I resell it, I will just simply, if for some reason I end up taking the whole thing off, all I have to do is put in some of these grommets that are closed. Just stick those in the hole and then paint them white, and then it'll look pretty good. Now on the inside, instead of these being outside, now these are inside, so they were protected from the weather. And although this is stainless steel, I suspect it's from China, and if it were on the outside, eventually it's going to corrode, and so I didn't want that. This one's not connected yet because there's a kink in this 3/8 line up there, and that I have to replace the whole 3/8 line going to the air handler. But to show you how currently I have a 1/4 installed, how it flexes in. So even if there's something stored in here, it'll just flex around it. And this, let's see, if I had to take this hinge off and swing the door out even further, it'll go as far as this will allow it to. So it'll swing all the way to here. We're in a dangerous spot there to get stepped on. Dogs like to make sure we know that they're there. So here's the inside of the outer door skin, how I have these coming through. When I fasten the flex lines with zip ties, it's going to be more stable and firm than it is now, but that's actually pretty good. And so that's a pretty clean install, considering no one's ever done this before this way. So to do it, to be the first, is actually very difficult, especially when it's hot and humid. Look at the sweat. This is November 17th or something. Jeez. Okay, so These, I made a mistake of, let's see, this hole didn't have to be that big going through the plastic, but I have a solution. I'm just simply going to put one of these closed grommets in there. Probably just cut a slit. Let me go ahead and do that now. There. So that looks more factory, except for these dings here. That's not professional what I did there. Somehow I think the drill bit slipped because I was drilling into a curved area, and so that's more likely to slip. So ideally in a professional install, I would have put some kind of tape around there in case I slip, so I wouldn't damage that. So somehow maybe I can kind of fill that in with something black to make it look like nothing happened. Probably nobody will notice unless I point it out to them. At a distance, it's much harder to see that. So that's pretty good. I like the idea of coming through the door now that I have that cover to hide a lot of stuff, and everything's more protected. The lines are shorter, easier to maintain. I didn't like them going underneath the vehicle. I don't know if I showed you yet. I put the grommets in here that are filled in without cutting the grommets to hide those two holes and to make it look more of a factory finish. And there you can see too a couple little nicks. I'll go ahead and leave the wiring going under the vehicle. That's no big deal. So these two will be joined with zip ties. When I get this 3/8 figured out, I'm gonna have it run a little lower to match up with the 1/4. Once I do that, all I have to do is use Nylock. Where is it? Nylog. This here thread sealant on all of the flares, and then flush the line with Quick Evac, got from Home Depot. This tool I got, all these tools I got from Home Depot are excellent, very excellent. The specification is 1 inch sticking out the end here, the flare, the tube to make the flare. Not 1 inch, 1 millimeter, but I recommend probably 2 to 3 millimeters instead to get a bigger flare so it seats into the flare head better. So yeah, it's undesirable to have this there, and also over here I've got all these right by the bed, but that's just the way it is. I am not able to practically drill a hole through, through this pillar and come out through here. This is all permanent. It's a very, very permanent install. It would be quite a mess, but I will when I replace now this 1/4 inch can flex a little better than the 3/8. When I go to get the another 20 feet of 3/8, I don't need 20 feet. All I need is about 6 feet for this section here. I'm going to try to flex it to kind of contour in here a little better, out of the way, out of the sleeping. Try to get it up against the wall a little bit, like a little bit of a curve without kinking. So I'll have 20 feet to play with to damage if I damage any with a kink. So I'm probably gonna do all that flexing before I put the insulation on, because once the insulation is on, I can't see the kinks if there are any created. This cover goes over like that. Very good. So we'll do a demonstration. Close. Not bad. All right, I need a professional opinion about this. On the right side, you have the factory flaring, the factory flare for the 3/8 line that I cut off because I had to redo the line. And on the left side is from the flexible stainless steel. And the flexible stainless steel on the left side there has a smaller internal diameter but thicker copper, which they both have the 3/8 OD, but the ID is different. Do you think that's any big deal, considering it's only for small parts. I assume it's only for this small part right here at two ends that it's more narrow. I assume they open it up a little bigger through the stainless steel, but I'm not sure. They may not. Do you happen to know why? Tidy, do you know why? Alright, so I feel more comfortable with all that stainless steel braided curly stuff gone from the bottom. Don't have to worry about it getting corroded and with road grime and all that crap. Because there's no weather exposure in here. I can just leave it bare stainless steel probably. I think this cover is very, very important for efficiency and for the unit to last longer. This has been very, very time consuming. Many more videos than expected. Very difficult to do actually. This is very, very high skill stuff right here to put this in there. I could do it again much, much quicker and easier, but I don't want to. I'm not for hire to do this. This is enough right here. But I don't mind communicating through the message board down below.